So this is our assessment list for Unit 7 for French 2. Okay, I'm going to be talking about our due dates. Obviously, these due dates are going to be if we start back to school when we're supposed to, which would be March 30th. The dates may be adjusted depending on when we come back. They may not be adjusted at all because of the reasons you'll see in just a minute. So what you should have with you for watching this video here is you should have your assessment list out for Unit 7, as well as and then you can get the vocabulary list for later when you watch the vocabulary list video. Now, so let's talk about the assessments for Unit 7. Now this is our last unit for the entire school year, so there's going to be a couple more assessments because of that in certain places, just because it's one unit spread out over an entire quarter instead of having 2 units in the quarter. Now, written assessment number 1, what you're going to do is you're going to research a city in France, and then you're going to write a comparison between Salt Lake City and the city that you've chosen. Okay, this is a city in France, not another country, not another French-speaking country. So written assessment number 1, you're comparing a city in France to a city here, to Salt Lake City, and you need to make sure that you include where it is, how you can get there, what to do there, why you personally want to go there. So it should be somewhere that you personally want to go. And you need to compare it to Salt Lake City. You need to use both good and bad things to compare that city and Salt Lake City. So you should be looking for good and bad things in both cities. Again, submitted through a Google Doc that you type up and you submit on Canvas. Written assessment number 2 is you have an opportunity to go to a French-speaking country. So you're going to research it and write about your trip there and what you're going to do and see and why. So you want to include with this one where you would go, how you would get there, where you would stay, who you would go with, what you would do while you're there, and why it is that you want to go to this place. Okay, and it can be any French-speaking country that you would like. Okay, you could choose one in Africa or in the Caribbean, or maybe even Quebec, depending on where it is that you want to go. So you should have some vested interest in going to this place because you need to talk about why you want to go there. And now for written assessment number 3, your French-speaking friend wants to know about places in your city. So you're going to write them an email telling them about it, and you're going to ask about their city. So you want to make sure you talk about things to do in your city, okay, whether you want to use the specific place where you live or just Salt Lake City in general. Or maybe even if you want to expand it to Utah, you could do that too, because as I've talked about, there's lots of things in Utah that they do not have over in France. You want to express your opinions on those things and give a reason why. Okay, so talk about good things, talk about bad things, why you don't like those things, why you don't like those things, whatever. And then ask about information on their city. So you need to ask some questions about their city in your writing. Again, submitted through a Google Doc that you put on Canvas and submit to me. Now, speaking assessment number 1. You're going to prepare a presentation based on your written project. Okay, so your written project would be for that written number 2. Okay, and you're going to present it to me. So you're going to be basing for speaking assessment number 1, you're basing what you did on written assessment number 2. Use all that information to give that presentation to me. And in your presentation, you want to make sure you include where you want to go, how you would get there, where you would stay, who you would go with, what you would do while you're there, and why it is that you want to go there. So again, it's got to be some place that you want to go, some kind of vested interest that you have in this place. Now for my A-Day class, we will start this speaking assessment on April 8th. Again, it is based on assuming that we go back to school when we're supposed to on March 30th. It may change depending on what we do. For my B-Day class, it will be on April 9th. So you want to be ready for that on April 9th is when we'll do that one. For speaking assessment number 2, you're planning a trip to France, and then you're talking to a travel agent about it and making all the plans. Okay, so obviously in this one, you're going to need to include a bunch of different things. So you want to make sure that you are able to describe what you want to do and see, and ask where you can go and do to see those things. You want to make travel arrangements. Okay, this would be air, train, bus, subway, whatever it is you need to get there and get around. Make hotel arrangements, so you need to be able to talk about the hotel and ask questions and get a hotel. And then find out how to exchange money. Okay, all this stuff you getting from your vocab list and being able to ask about and talk about these things with me, who will be a travel agent. You'll be calling on the phone. And that one, for my A-Day classes, you will start it on April 22nd. My B-Day class, you will start on April 23rd. Again, this is assuming that we're back to school on the 30th like we're supposed to be. Dates may change based on when we get back and things like that. And then you'll have some listening assessments and reading assessments as well that you will be doing in class. The final day for all this stuff is May 19th. All right, that's the Tuesday before the end of school. That is the last day that assessments can be done. I believe it's a B day, so for you A-Day class, you will not be able to do any speaking, listening, or reading assessments on that day. But you will be able to turn in written assessments. And written assessments will be due the lock at 4 o'clock on Canvas. So you cannot submit anything after 4 p.m. or after on that on May 19th. If you have any questions, you can email me about it or ask me in class, because hopefully we're back in class. If you missed any of the dates, you can obviously rewatch this video in order to get those dates. I would get them and write them down on your assessment list. And hopefully I will see you in class.